Okay, so hi guys, I'm back with another video, and this time we'll be covering the histopathology of malignant lymph node biopsies. This is quite a big lecture, 28 slides. I will not be talking in too much detail this time. This time I'll be giving you an overview and some pointers regarding how you can diagnose a malignant lymph node biopsy. After that, I'm going to be repeating this lecture where I will be taking the investigations and the molecular and the immunohistochemistry in detail. There is incorporation of investigations in this lecture also, but today we'll be limited to mainly morphology and histopathology. In detail about what markers are there and I'm going to talk about that today also, but I will repeat it again when we are doing the investigations once more, a little slower than what I'll go today. And at that moment, I'll not be discussing microscopy. So I'll be able to give more time to the particular markers and how they express themselves in various stages of maturation of a lymphocyte. Okay, so today we'll be a little more rushed, but I assure you the microscopy and the histopathology part will not be rushed. What I'll rush through is the marker, the immuno or the flow markers that are there, how they come about, at what stage what lymphoma is formed, and what are the investigations. I'll discuss that, but in a rush. Okay, so without wasting much time, I have kept a few slides from the benign lecture. Mostly the presentation of a benign or a malignant lymph node is the same. That is, the person presents with lumps. They may be single, they may be multiple. The patient may have B symptoms of fever, night sweat, weight loss, more than 10% in 6 months. There may be a previous history of lymphoma or leukemia, and the patient might be on treatment. If it is a secondary lymphoma or leukemia, there may be a history of chemo for some other cancer. There may be family history if there is some genetic or predisposition to that particular leukemia lymphoma. The patient might just present with anemia, and when you do an ultrasound, when you do a PS examination, you try and you get to see that there are lymph nodes, mesenteric or thoracic, or there's gross anemia, or there's lymphocytosis. The patient might just come with pleural effusion or difficulty to walk. I mean, not classical presentations of a lymphoma. I have seen all of them. The case might just be severe anemia. That's it. And he might give you history of previous steroid treatment. In a case of ALL, if you give steroid, then the lymphocytes, lymphoblasts become very innocuous and small, and you might miss it. So these are the various presentations that one can come through. Again, hematology should first is of course radiology. Hematology and radiology should go parallel, because when you give a CBC with that, someone might advise a chest X-ray or an ultrasound. Then comes the biochemical LFT, LDH, viral markers, and then the histocyto if there are nodes, and then of course molecular, etc. Come after the basic diagnosis has been made. So, benign, I had discussed in the last lecture, and I had told you some features of this benign lymphadenopathies. And I had told you that normally we get specimens in 10% NBF. We get electron microspecimens and rutile. Histopathology we can do on the formalin sections. Snap freeze tissue, fresh tissue is used for molecular investigations, and how the lymph node is bisected. Important to know is that on microscopy, reactive, infective, autoimmune, and necrotic, these are the benign categories that you can get. And concomitantly, I had listed down the causes of this kind of picture in a lymph node. So this is just for a revision actually. So basically what I had shown last time also, that this is the capsule, this is the cortical area, this is the paracortical area, this part is the cortex, and this is the medulla, this is the hilum. And what we have to see is whether this capsule is thickened or not, whether the septa which are going down from the capsule are thickened, hilar pattern of vessels and fat and fibroblastic tissues maintained or not. Any what kind of germinal secondary or primary follicles are there or not, what kind of germinal centers are there, whether there is this dark staining and a pale area, the normal morphology of a germinal center or not. Then we have to see for how many follicles are there, whether the follicles are streaming up to the medulla or not. They're uniform in size or variable in size. Then what kind of occupation or what kind of cells are occupying the sinuses. Are they metastatic deposits? Are they histiocytes? Are they lymphoma cells spilling over into the sinus? Subcapsular area we have to see for any metastasis. So this is the basic morphology. Then the type of cells in each area I'm going to deal with as we move ahead. This is in low power what you should see in a lymph node. Then I had taken some benign lesions. I'll not be repeating them. You can just go ahead and listen to the previous lecture. Just make sure to see the distribution of follicles throughout the lymph node if it is a follicular hyperplasia versus a lymphoma is very important. Okay, it will be more uniform throughout and with pale and wo centers, pale and dark centers in a benign lesion and variable size follicles throughout the lymph node with no distinction between a pale and a dark center. Maybe the mantle zone is gone, maybe the marginal zone is gone, is seen in follicular lymphomas. And then there is potentity of folliculolysis when the follicular cells spill over into the paracortical and medullary area. That is caught by using CD21 and CD23. They're dendritic markers. They define the histiocytic network inside the germinal centers. And when the cells are going beyond that, you can see that this is the germinal center, the fine network of dendritic cells, and the cells are going beyond that circular circumscribed area. Again, sinus histiocytosis in low and high power. Necrosis, cat sarcoid. Okay, now coming to malignancies, I've already taken those slides actually. I don't want to waste much time on that. So basically we can have B cell neoplasms and T cell neoplasms. Mostly in lymphomas we deal with B cell. Some are mixed B and T cell. I'm not going into much detail right now. WHO classification is there. If you want me to discuss individual lymphoma, because I normally discuss approach in general. So if you want me to discuss an individual lymphoma, it will be a long lecture. Multiple lectures will be needed because lymphoma is a big topic. I'll do that when I'm taking hematopath. My concern here is just to teach you the approach rather than the individual lesions right now. So if you still want me to do it, message me in the messenger, I'll do that. But I assure you, when I take hematopath lectures, I'll start soon. Then I am going to be doing individual lymphomas for 5 to 10 minutes, one lecture of 10 minutes, that's it. So right now, just don't try and mug up everything. I'm just giving you an approach. So when someone asks you, you know how to approach this case. Of course, exact points, cons I have, what diagnosis, you'll have to study. But at least your mind should be attuned that when you get a lymph node biopsy, what should you think of? This is my purpose through this lecture. So if you talk of B cell neoplasms, they can be small, they can be blast-like, like a blast looks, and they can be intermediate or transformed pleomorphic kinds. So small type of B cells can also be there in a lymphoma, not only benign. They can be indolent SLLs in adults or marginal zone mantle cell lymphomas. Sorry. Then the blastoid appearance can be in mantle cell also. They can spill over in the PS and look like a leukemia, ALL, or precursor lymphoblastic lymphomas. Intermediate kind, mixed pleomorphic, plasmacytoid, immunoblast, centroblast, vacuolation. That kind of a picture is there in DLBCL, in Burkitt's, and in other lymphomas. Okay, so moving along. So this picture is repeated in multiple forms ahead of this figure also. But what I want to show you in this, like you cannot remember everything. But what you I want to give you a gist is that from the bone marrow, the B cell precursors, they give out naive B cells. Naive means new. Then due to some exposure, they become activated. Now in the lymph node, and then these cells will go into the lymph node. Okay, these naive B cells in the lymph node, they will get antigenic exposure and become activated. Now, in the lymph node, a primary follicle is made up of naive B cells. Once an antigen comes from outside and activates it, it forms a secondary germinal center, so a secondary follicle, and then you see that pale staining germinal center. I just want to tell you what kind of cells are there in that germinal center. Fine. So there's a dark zone in the germinal center, which has more of activated cells, and then there's a light zone in that same germinal center. This dark zone is mostly of centroblasts. Okay, you know centroblasts, centrocytes, immunoblasts, these are cells that are there apart from lymphocytes. So in the germinal center, the darker area is formed by the centroblast, the lighter area is formed by the centrocytes, follicular dendritic cells, the activated T cells, helper cells, etc. B cells, the activated ones, the centrocytes, which are the more mature forms from the blast with cleaving and smaller in size, and the dendritic network is there. You will also find some memory B cells and plasma cells, which will come out of this and lie later on in the medullary region, okay, after getting exposed to the antigen. The area just surrounding the germinal center is known as the mantle zone, and that is where the mantle cell lymphoma originates. And the area beyond that is the marginal zone, and then that is where the marginal zone lymphoma originates. So you can get a mantle cell lymphoma from the mantle zone, and this is the molecular. We'll slowly study about it. No need to mug it up. Burkitt's is from this darker zone. Follicular again from the darker zone. DLBCLs from the darker zone. Then there's a germinal center DLBCL, and then there's the second form of DLBCL not arising from the darker area of the germinal center, that arises from the lighter area. Then plasmablastic cells and Hodgkin's lymphoma, they are away from the germinal center, the darker areas, and but from the cortex, okay, not the medullary cells. Again, now as what I was telling you about, ki, as the cell matures, B or T, the lymphoma जिस स्टेज पे अराइज कर रहा है उसी स्टेज का मार्कर दिखता है एंड उसी पे नाम रखा गया है उसका. So if you see blastic lymphomas, lymphoblastic means that it is a more primitive, more precursor form. So pro B is the first stage, pre B and immature B. This happens in bone marrow. So if a lesion or leukemia lymphoma is occurring from these lineages, it's known as blastic word आ जाता है, and lymphoblastic leukemia or lymphoma word is used. Markers are immature, 34 TDT. Then you might get that B lineage markers 1920, but 34 and TDT and HLA-DR are important over here. Once these cells move out of the bone marrow, they become naive, and then they enter the lymph node and they become mature, and then they have an entire pattern of maturation. So all the lymphomas which are appearing from the lymph node, the mature lineage, they'll not have TDT, HLA, DR and CD34. They'll have B lineage markers plus some extra markers. Okay. So from mature naive B cell, you'll get 1920 immunoglobulin and 38. The common ones are CLL and MCL. Then germinal center B cell, DLB cell. I've already shown you this. Memory B cells are marginal zone and CLL, plasma cells, multiple myeloma, and the markers differ as per their stage of maturation. Plasma cell shows 38 and 138, so multiple myeloma will show those markers. 1920 IG, IgM present in memory because memory cell का काम होता है immunoglobulin निकालना. So CLL, MZL will show these markers. So this is how marker maturation cycle works actually. Okay. This is the classification, not very clear, but you must all be having WHO hematology classification book. Please read it, learn it by rote. It is important. This is from Washington Manual of Surgery. Again, the same thing. किस स्टेज पे कौन सा मार्कर दिख रहा है बी में एंड टी में एंड जिस स्टेज का लिम्फोमा फिर होगा ना वही मार्कर आपको दिखेगा. सो इफ यू जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस चार्ट you automatically know what markers that particular lymphoma is showing. If it is a blastic stage from pre-stem cell progenitor, 34 DR, HLA DR and TDT are most common. As you go toward like precursor and pre, from pro 1920 आ जाते हैं, and once it comes out into the blood into the lymph node, then supposing early B cell है, mature B cell है, ALL वहां पे भी हो सकता है, but then the markers that will come positive बिकॉज आप मार्कर से डिफाइन करोगे ना कि कौन सा लुकीमिया है. देर बी 19, 20, 10, 20, 24 etc. apart from the and no TDT HLA-DR in 34. ओके वाई बिकॉज वो पहले था, अब वो बाहर वो मच्योर सेल्स में नहीं दिखता है. 1920 लीनियज स्पेसिफिक मार्कर्स होते हैं. तो इफ यू आस्क मी कि वो मच्योर में भी दिख रहा है और वो इमेच्योर, बिकॉज इमेच्योर में भी दो सेल्स, दो स्टेज बाद लीनियज स्पेसिफिसिटी तो आ ही जाती है कि ये बी बनेगा और बी का मच्योर बनेगा. बट TDT 34 HLA ये इमेच्योरिटी मार्कर्स है. ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड. लीनियज स्पेसिफिसिटी डजंट मीन मैच्योरिटी आ गई है. मतलब उसको ये पता चल गया कि इस जैसे लिवर का स्टेम सेल को ये पता है वो लिवर बनेगा, ब्रेन नहीं बनेगा, बट दैट डजंट मीन इट्स अ मैच्योर हेपाटोसाइट. Similar concept is over here. Okay, so just go through this in Washington Manual of Surgery. This for B as well as for T. Okay, in T, और डू रिमेम्बर कि टी सेल रिसेप्टर कहाँ दिखता है कहाँ नहीं दिखता है. सी आई टेल यू, थोड़ा सा डिस्कस मैं कर ले रही हूँ. थाइमस में तो वही बेसिक मार्कर्स हैं तुम्हारे 34 TDT. थाइमस, सॉरी बोन मैरो में जब थाइमस में आ जाते हैं ना तो टी सेल रिसेप्टर जीन रीअरेंजमेंट हो जाता है. गामा डेल्टा, अल्फा बीटा. गामा डेल्टा लिम्फोमास के बारे में सुना होगा तुमने. So you have to see that once it comes into the subcapsular cortex in the thymus, TDT 34, 257 के साथ साथ T cell rearrangement शुरू हो जाता है. Okay, and then initially it is double negative for 48, वो हमेशा maturity में आते हैं. देन इनर कॉर्टेक्स में आते आते कोई लिम्फोमा हो तो 48 पॉजिटिव होने लगता है और एकदम 100% पॉजिटिव हो जाता है मेडुला में जाते जाते. सो ये चीज़ इंपॉर्टेंट है याद रखना कि टी सेल रीअरेंजमेंट एंड 48 का जो मैचुरेशन हो कहाँ होता है. ठीक है, दिस इज आस्क्ड. Then cell type, this is again Washington manual. पे define करते हो what kind of lymphoma it is, small, medium, large. Then the nuclear shape, cleave, round, blastoid. माइटोसिस नेक्रोसिस है कि नहीं. फ्लो में 1920 MPO3 का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है. मैचुरेशन में TDT का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है. इफ मच्योर लीनियज तो फॉलिकल के पहले का है, फॉलिकल का है बाद का है. ठीक है. टी में थाइमस का है कि पोस्ट थाइमिक है, एंड अदर इंपॉर्टेंट मार्कर्स. यही सब आपको पता होना चाहिए. So this is a very nice chart. They will tell you about pre-germinal center B cell, germinal center B cell, post-germinal center. Post-germinal center of course plasma cells आएंगे तुम्हारे, तो DLBCLs and multiple myeloma. जर्मिनल सेंटर के अंदर सारे तुम्हारे मोस्ट DLBCL, CLL, SLL, मार्जिनल जोन, फॉलिकुलर सब बड़े बड़े वाले इसमें होते हैं. एंड प्री में you'll get a blastoid, ALL, lymphoblasttic lymphoma, mantle cell, ये सब मिलते हैं. ठीक है. Reactive में, if you see, you'll get a mixed population of centroblasts, immunoblasts, small lymphocytes, macrophages, plasma cells. DLBCL में बहुत ही large and bizarre cells मिलते हैं, sometimes difficult to categorize. Burkitt's में lot of necrosis and starry sky appearance मिलेगा. Apoptosis बहुत मिलती है. इसका key index 100 होता है. ठीक है ना. मतलब इतना ज़्यादा proliferate कर रहा होता है. And then of course there's molecular which we'll take on next time. And SLL is uniform small cells. Okay. Again, small cell pattern I've shown you, SLL, LPL, follicular. Lymphomas with intermediate मैंने बता दिए. Pleomorphic ALCL होता है, Hodgkin's होता है. Some miscellaneous lesions, thymomas हो सकते हैं, PCN histiocytic lesions होते हैं, Castleman and metastasis. Remember, Castleman has been included by WHO into malignancy now. Okay. Now I'll rush up इसको थोड़ा जल्दी because we'll again revise it next time. स्टैंडर्ड इन्वेस्टिगेशन, पेरिफेरल में ब्लास्ट एंड एटीपिया देखोगे. हम ये सोचते हैं लूक है तो बड़ा सेल्स बढ़ के आएंगे. नो, पैनसाइटोपिनिया के साथ भी आ सकता है. लिम्फोमा का स्पिल ओवर भी आ सकता है. लिम्फोमा इन्फिल्ट्रेटिंग बोन मैरो कैन प्रेजेंट विद ल्यूकोएरिथ्रोब्लास्टिक पिक्चर. रेटिक काउंट हाई हो सकता है, इनिशियली हिमोलिसिस हो रही हो. लो हो सकता है जब मैरो रिप्लेस हो चुका हो. ठीक है. LFT, KFT, LDH वायरल मार्कर्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So see over here, this is leukoerythroblastic blood picture. तुमको यहाँ पे टीयर ड्रॉप भी मिल रहा है, ब्लास्ट जैसा सेल भी मिल रहा है, मिड सीरीज भी मिल रही है, पॉली भी मिल रहा है और NRBC भी मिल रहा है. Now you get bizarre cells in the PS, hairy cells, projections. Think of lymphoma. Look at hairy cell and splenic marginal zone. इसको कहते हैं polar villus. इसको कहते हैं hair like projections throughout. ये annexin के लिए पॉजिटिव आ जाता है. ठीक है. और ये पोलर विलस है, दोनों पोल पे पूंछ की तरह निकला हुआ. सो डोंट कंफ्यूज दीज टू. एंड इंडिविजुअली आई विल बी टेकिंग अप व्हेन आई टेक हेमाटोलॉजी. एडवांस वर्कअप में बोन मैरो फ्लो, पीसीआर, एनजीएस. ओके, अगेन दिस आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अगेन, ये हैंस एल्गोरिदम है. क्या है? डीएलबीसीएल को अदर हाई ग्रेड लिम्फोमास, हाई ग्रेड बी सेल लिम्फोमास से डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए read up and then we are going to discuss this again. ठीक है, and then these are the specific markers for specific lymphomas. मैंने बताया ना, read that table जो maturity markers के साथ बता रहा है कौन सा lymphoma है. It's there in Washington. Individually we are going to take it up. Okay, again see 23 TDT cyclin D1. तो 23 पॉजिटिव है, TDT पॉजिटिव है, लिम्फोब्लास्टिक लिम्फोमा बी ओरिजिन का होगा. 20 पॉजिटिव, TDT पॉजिटिव. ठीक है, सेकेंड उसमें देखो 20 पॉजिटिव है D1 साइक्लिन, तो जाहिर सी बात है मेंटल है. 20 पॉजिटिव है, साइक्लिन D1 है, और ब्लास्टॉइड फॉर द ब्लास्टॉइड मेंटल है. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज फ्रॉम एक्चुअली जो फिगर 4 ये पेपर से है. 20 नेगेटिव है, सब नेगेटिव है, सिर्फ TDT पॉजिटिव है. अगेन लिम्फो बी कैसे? क्योंकि अब हमने पैक्स 5 और CD10 लगा लिया, तो बी लीनिएज आ गया पैक्स 5 से, और लिम्फोब्लास्टिक है वो TDT से आ गया. तो ऐसे पकड़ते हैं, एंड दिस इज, ये धीरे धीरे आता है, यानी कि तुरंत आ जाएगा तुमको. ठीक है, fine. This is a T cell rich B cell lymphoma. I just wanted to show you this. We had a similar case. Look at this cell. ये मैरो है, इसमें eosinophils हैं, polymorphs हैं, और कुछ ये बड़े बड़े ये मोनोसाइट्स हैं, और ये कुछ बड़े बड़े सेल्स हैं. दिस इज इन्फिल्ट्रेशन ऑफ द मैरो बाय हॉजकिंस. ओके, और ये ALCL से कंफ्यूज करता है. एंड देन देयर समथिंग कॉल्ड ग्रे जोन लिम्फोमास, जिसमें B एंड T दोनों का लुक एंड दोनों के मार्कर्स आते हैं. इनकी प्रोग्नोसिस चेंज हो जाती है, इसमें मॉलिक्यूलर का रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. we'll discuss this slowly. देन ये तुम्हारे एक तरीके से हॉजकिंस के सारे पैटर्न्स हैं. ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा डायग्राम लगा. व्हाई? बिकॉज हियर इन डायग्रामेटिक फॉर्म दे आर शोइंग यू कि विच वन हैज ब्लड वेसल्स मोर. CD4 टाइप के सेल्स जो ये लाइट ग्रे वाले हैं वो किस में होते हैं. CD4 नेगेटिव PD1 वाले जो ग्रीन वाले हैं वो किस में ज़्यादा होते हैं. आई मीन दिस इज अ नाइस डायग्राम, यू कैन स्क्रीन शॉट इट. यू नो नोडुलर स्क्लेरोसिस में बाइफ्रिंजेंट कोलेजन मिलता है. MCH मिक्स्ड सेलेटी में बहुत ही रिएक्टिव बैकग्राउंड मिलती है. लिम्फोसिटिक प्रोडोमिनेंट में लिम्फोसाइट्स बहुत सारे मिलेंगे. लिम्फोसिटिक रिच में सेम है. एंड नॉर्मल लिम्फोसिटिक प्रोडोमिनेंट में, लिम्फोसिटिक डिप्लीटेड में मोर ऑफ हिस्टोसिटिक RS cells and few lymphocytes. NLPHL में you'll get those bizarre RS cells and nodular configuration. 20 पॉजिटिव होता है NLPHL में, रेस्ट में नहीं होता है. 15-30 का क्या रोल है? All this is there in Hodgkin's. 15, 30 and 20 is important. आजकल 20 is very important in lymphomas because of rituximab treatment. 15 से ज़्यादा 30 is important because Hodgkin's versus ALCL is important. 15-30 दोनों Hodgkin में पॉजिटिव होता है. ALCL में ALCAN 30 पॉजिटिव होता है, और ALCL is a DD for Hodgkin's. ये सब चीज़ें ना you will learn when you study about the topic and then you make an algorithm. हम एक एक लिम्फोमा जब लेंगे तो हम ये डिस्कस करेंगे. एंड द बेस्ट वे टू डू इट इज यू कैन बाय माई बुक ऑनलाइन फ्रॉम आहूजा बुक्स. इट इज जस्ट 188 रुपीज. उसमें मैंने ये सब टैबुलेट एंड फ्लो चार्ट्स में दिया हुआ है. तो यही चीजें कि कौन सा लिम्फोमा, कौन सा मार्कर, क्या मॉर्फोलॉजी होती है, क्या स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स याद होने होते हैं, वो सब उसमें ऑलरेडी है. दोज वर माई नोट्स फॉर द DM. सो दैट विल हेल्प यू if you want to study malignant hematology. Okay, again I wanted to show you the varied morphology of high grade B cell lymphomas. इसका ना एक पूरा चैप्टर है WHO में. We are going to take it up slowly. And those were, I'm sorry I moved ahead, those were lymphoepithelial lymphomas, malt lymphomas, baltomas, maltomas. एक एक करके I'll take up the topic, and एक एक करके we'll do the lymphomas. In the end I would like to summarize कि malignant is to benign lymph node अगर देखना हो, कैप्सूल की थिकनेस देखो, सब कैप्सुलर साइनस इन्वॉल्वमेंट देखो, कॉर्टिकल और मेडुलरी डिस्टिंक्शन मेंटेन्ड है कि नहीं ये देखो. मेडुला में नॉर्मली प्लाज्मा सेल्स, मैक्रोफेजेस, डेंड्रिटिक सेल्स होते हैं. पैराकॉर्टिकल एरिया में T सेल्स होते हैं, कॉर्टेक्स में B सेल्स होते हैं. ये और एक डार्क एंड ब्राइट एक जोन होता है कॉर्टेक्स में जो तुम्हारा सेकेंडरी जर्मिनल सेंटर होता है, वो मेंटेन होना चाहिए. मेंटल की विथ, मार्जिनल की विथ मेंटेन होनी चाहिए. इफेस नहीं होना चाहिए. वेसल्स थिकन बहुत नहीं होने चाहिए. वेसल के अंदर लिम्फोसाइट नहीं होना चाहिए. वैस्कुलर DLBS सेल्स भी होते हैं. ठीक है, और एंड नेक्रोसिस एंड माइटोसिस उतना नहीं, बट नेक्रोसिस नहीं होनी चाहिए. दिस इज malignant एंड उसका ऑपोजिट इज benign. So fine, next time we are going to meet up and do these investigation and maturity markers in detail. And till then, buy my book, Manual of Hematology, by my name, Dr. नीमा तिवारी, available on the Google पे जाइए, मेरा Manual of Hematology डालिए, मेरा नाम डालिए, एंड फिर सर्च करिए तो आपको फर्स्ट लिंक पे ही दिख जाएगा बुक. खरीदिए उसको, पढ़िए, उसका रिव्यू प्लीज़ डालिए, टेल मी हाउ इट इज़, एंड आई सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम.